What's up, everybody? We hit 5,000 subscribers, which means I'm doing a car check now that the car is a lot more complete than it was before. If you watched the last one, I kind of gave a rundown of everything that's in the car. I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit more details this time and talk about the upkeep and what it takes to make this thing keep going at track days. And also this morning I posted an Instagram post saying that I was going to do this today and you guys could ask questions and I would answer them. So I'm going to answer some questions at the end and we'll just jump into it real quick. We'll start at the front. So we're starting up front. We'll start at the bash bar. This is just a weld-on bash bar. It's pretty basic. I'm actually redoing the bash bar and the front end in a couple weeks, courtesy of Level Ride Concepts. I got hit at Summerfest and it crushed the core support pretty much to the intercooler piping. I bashed it out the best I could for Turk Bash and Park Fest, which is coming up here in a couple weeks, but it needs to be fixed. My headlight brackets are broken. So yeah, we're going to redo the whole front end. That's going to be really dope. I'm stoked to do that. I'll do a video on the process of that. But so we got our bash bar, we've got our power steering cooler, we've got our intercooler, we've got our oil cooler, all up front. They're kind of in bad spots, but because this bash bar kind of limits where I can put them, and I plan on changing that when we do the new front end. We've got a coil radiator, Mishimoto, fan shroud, and fans, which this thing came unbolted. I didn't even know that. So yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. But anyways, 1JZ Vvt-I. These come single turbo. You can see the turbo right here. Now this turbo blew up a little while ago and it was rebuilt with the drift motion billet internals and has been holding great ever since then. We have a 2 3/4 exhaust, just straight pipe down to the rear sway bar, and it just dumps to the ground right there. Other than that, the engine's pretty much stock. It's got a Chaser OEM clutch, not the one that came with the engine when it came over from Japan, but an aftermarket one. We can kind of get in here and you can see the suspension a little bit. We have the Powered by Max control arm tension rod set up with some bump stops so we don't over center. We have 06 Maxima inner tie rods and S14 outers with a Pop Shop drop knuckle, and that drop knuckle brings down your suspension, helps kind of make everything level, and it's the exact same thing as the PBM one, but made by my homie, so you know I got a rep. We got a PBM Pro coilover. I think the spring rates are 8K and 10K, and then just some braided brake lines and a stock sway bar with some energy. I think it's Energy Solution machines, something like that. So yeah, that's it for the front. Pretty basic. Makes a little over 300 horsepower probably, but in this little car, that is plenty for drifting. So moving on to my girlfriend's helping me. It's like 103 degrees outside right now, and I'm doing this for you guys, so I hope you love me. All right. So I run some little brakes. These are, I believe, Q45 brakes with a PBM 15 mil spacer and some inky Kojin wheels. Now I know some other kid in the comments on my last video was like, how come nobody can ever say the name right? Well, you know what? I don't know how to say it right. That's how it's spelled. It's Kojin. So these are inky Kojin wheels. Shout out to Jeff Stonebeck and Turn 14 for sending me these wheels. Without you guys, I wouldn't have any. Another big change to the car since the last video is paint. Now this paint code, so just in case you guys want to paint your car this color, the code is Hood Rich Blue Flame. Just make sure you ask for that at the counter. Hood Rich Blue Flame. So hopefully you can see all the sparkles. I'm sure you can. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, we got the car painted right before Summerfest, and then shortly after that we got our kit from 2F Performance, Super Doof kit. Now this is definitely hands down my favorite kit. I've always wanted one since they came out. Super aggressive. Here's the side skirts. Unfortunately the bumper's not on because it's got some cracks in it that I had to fix and get it ready for Park Fest. And then in the rear, everybody keeps telling me, yeah, it'll look so much better with the rear bumper on. Yeah, I know, I get it. Except for there's no tabs to connect the bumper to right now, and this just hangs. So it is what it is. Deal with it. Sorry. For tire sizes, For the front, at the moment, I'm running the 225/40/18, just so I'm not rubbing on anything. I would like to go up a little bit, but that's what fits right now. It's a Federal 595. And in the rear, I run a 265/35/18, and this is a GT radial tire. Shout out to Chelsea Denofa for giving me a bunch of his burner tires. It's like one of the semi-slick tires. I'm not really sure which model it is, but it works really good. I'm stoked on it. It's crazy driving with that much grip. Moving on to the rear. It's so hot, you guys have no idea. We have our fuel cell. This is a 1Jz 12-gallon fuel cell. These things are super cheap. It's a plastic bladder with a steel box. We've got our feed, our vent, and our return. And then back here we have, it's a Aeromotive 100 micron fuel filter, 2 Bosch 044 pumps, our CX Racing Baller surge tank, not baller but it works fine, our relays, and then our fuel lines right here. Pretty simple. Suspicious Garage helped me plumb it and sourced out all these lines. They were way too much money. It is what it is. It works great. The tube rear was done by Gelante at the Fab Lab. Shout out to my man Gelante. It works really good. I mean, it's real basic. Didn't want anything crazy. But we have our tail light brackets on both sides. Keeps them really sturdy actually. But yeah, everything lines up great. So that's all we could really ask for. Back in. Alright, moving underneath. Oh my god, the ground is hot. Alright, all the rear arms are battle version arms. My tow rods are bent, but it is what it is. We got our exhaust down there. We run a stock S13 diff. It's welded. I just rebuilt it like last night. That's why this is taking so long for it to come out. PBM coils, of course. And yeah, all pretty simple back here. Some solid subframe bushings. Those are new. Level Ride made those up for me and we put those in. Interior. I'm pretty stoked on my interior and how far it's came from before when it had literally nothing. So we've got Sparco Evo 2 seat. We've got the collar harness on the driver's side. Got a Grip Royal Adam LZ steering wheel. Thank you, LZ. S13 stock dash, which I flocked with my girlfriend. Took like 10 minutes. It turned out awesome. We've got Quanbeck on a stock e-brake. This thing's done. It's about time for a new e-brake. Gonna go to hydro most likely. Our little switch panel works fine, except for when people forget to turn off the starter and burn out my starter. You can see my wiring back here. Kinda. Some relays, some fuses. We got a full cage, door bars. I think this used to be Pro-Am legal. I doubt it is now because they change it every year. Doors are all cut out to save some weight. I'm going to redo the door bars so that the door bars kind of come out into the door. You gotta have your stickers, you know. Flipsco in Jersey, Suspicious Garage in Compton, Hoonigan, Long Beach. Those are my dogs. Level Ride in Salem, Oregon, and Sideshow Tone, Stay Shitty, out there in the bay doing this thing. So that's pretty much it for the car. Now it is so hot outside, it's hard for me to even focus to do this. So I'm gonna go home and then I'm gonna talk with you guys a little bit, answer some questions, and give you guys some more info about what it takes to keep this thing going and try and answer some questions that you guys didn't ask about building a drift car and maintaining it. So we're back at the house. It's still a million degrees. I actually waited like 2 hours before I continued with this, but there was a couple things that I forgot to mention when I was going over the car because it was so hot. So now I'm gonna kind of go back and fill you guys in. One thing I forgot was rear over fenders. These are D-Max 50mm overs. They fit great. Fronts are Norwegian Type 3. They have this cool flare. It's like the bubble. I broke this one in half right after I painted it, and I refiberglassed it, and it kind of looks shitty. But I mean, I'm gonna break it again, so who cares? D-Max style VIS hood. Doesn't fit that good, but it's like my favorite looking hood, so I'm stoked I have it either way. So yeah, now it is time to, what'd you do? My girlfriend broke her, actually, well, I broke my girlfriend's vape and she fixed it with a Band-Aid. See if it works. Check out my clouds.
The wind's blowing. They're not gonna look as big.
Gross. So yeah, I'm gonna answer some questions. I also just want to fill you guys in. I see the same comments constantly on YouTube, and you guys always complain about the quality of my videos, the sound. And yes, I know. Trust me, I don't even want to watch them because the quality is so bad. I don't make very much money, so it's very hard for me to maintain this car and have the money to go buy, you know, $1,000 camera with lenses, and I don't even have a laptop. I do everything on my phone. So you guys have to understand that it's hard for me to fund this car and potentially fund a camera. So all I can say is that the more videos I put out with this iPhone, and the more you guys watch, share, and show your homies, that could be money that could go towards a camera. Now, YouTube doesn't pay very much. I've had my channel for like 2 months, right? 2 months? Yeah, and I made like 80 bucks. So I gotta keep putting out videos and keep hustling. But thank you for the support. I'm sorry the quality isn't the best. Bear with me. It will get better as time goes on, I promise. I'm gonna learn how to do this better and hopefully get a camera. My girlfriend's running around her bathing suit anyway. Wish I could zoom in on the butt. Carlos, tell your mom to put some clothes on. Alright, so let's jump into these questions right now. Okay, so there's like 75 comments, and I'm bored, and I don't really care if this video is long, so I'm going to answer as many as I can. So let's start with Pizza 6. Is Hoonigan a sponsor?
It sounds like it's ass
Babe, I'm trying to do this. Okay, Pizza 6. He asked, is Hoonigan a sponsor? Hoonigan does sponsor people. They don't really sponsor me. We're more just like friends, and they're down to post my stuff. I wouldn't be against it by any means. Alright, Kai BMX asked, compare Portland car scene with the Cali car scene. I would say that people in Cali are a lot more motivated to do car stuff. People here, it's kind of harder to organize shit, and people are kind of lazy. Sorry to all you people from Portland that are watching this, but it is what it is. And it rains a lot here, so kids in Cali can drive like all year long, and here it rains like 9 months a year, so it's a lot different. I don't know how to say this kid's Instagram name, but it's SICROM. Would you be down to trade your car for a couple sheets of live resin? Now, I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm guessing it has to do with weed. I don't smoke weed, so I'm not going to trade you my car for weed. And this also goes out to you guys that send me Snapchats that you're smoking weed all day long. I don't smoke weed. I don't want to see that shit. I don't care. Okay? I don't think it's cool. Hardwood, no floors. What is a typical running cost for the car per event, fluids, tires, etc.? Rough estimate on the 1J swap. What tranny are you running? Obstacles you ran into in the swap. That's not just one question. That's a lot of questions, but I'll try and answer it. So depending on the event, if it's a one-day event, my car doesn't make a shit ton of power, so I only go through about 6 tires an event. And if I have to buy the tires, sometimes I don't. But if I do, I get tires for about 60 bucks a piece, 50 bucks a piece. It's about $300 in tires. It costs about 100 bucks to drive an event. You think probably 100 bucks in fluids. After the event is when you usually change them. So usually, you know, drain the diff, do the oil filter, maybe coolant, but probably just run water. But yeah, I mean, a drift weekend could cost up to like $1,000 bucks. It's expensive. It's not cheap, that's for sure. The 1J swap. Now, when I got this car, it already had the 1J in it. But my hatch that I had, and I've done 1J swaps, I've done 2 before, and it costs about $6 to $7 grand with an R154 transmission. That's the one I run. I have an R154. Obstacles I ran into. 1Js are pretty simple. There isn't really any obstacles if you know what you're doing. You do your research. It's pretty easy. Beam Team underscore Brian asked, are you coming to ASB? That's All Star Bash at Willow Springs, if you guys were wondering. No, I'm probably not going to be there because I'm in Oregon. As much as I'd love to be there, I'm probably not going to be. VJILLY. What radiator / cooling setup are you running? Coil radiator, the KA radiator with Nishimoto fan shroud and two 12-inch fans on separate relays. That way, each fan works to its full potential. Board underscore man underscore Dan asked how much horsepower. I have no idea. Probably like 300 and a little bit. So like, I don't know, 310, 320. Who knows? There's this guy playing Pat27 who just says a bunch of rude ass comments. I'm just gonna block you if you're watching this. Dalton underscore Jake, where's the rear bumper? Rear bumper is in the garage and it's not on because I haven't made tabs for it yet. Level Ride's gonna make the tabs for the over fenders and the bumper, so that'll be on. Fucking who knows eventually. The longer it's off, the better it's gonna stay in good shape. So, or the longer it's gonna stay in good shape. So who cares? Miata underscore George asks, can I have your car? No. Are you too cool for a rear bumper? Extra scene points. That's that same guy I'm gonna block. Where's my letter at? So yeah, once again, his name is Plain Pat27. I'm blocking you. When are you going to be on No Jumper? That is Joe Hodge 1996. I don't know. Why don't you hit up Adam22 and tell him he's a bitch for not putting me on it? Shout out to Adam22 and No Jumper. I would love to do an interview. Next question. Fiji Trey. Would you rather have your life right now, or drop everything to be a pro in FD? Well, considering that FD drivers don't make any money, I'll probably not drop my life. My life's cool the way it is. That being said, though, I wouldn't mind having an FD car. FD cars are fucking rad. Having 1,000 horsepower, that would be cool. Maintaining a car like that, though, is insane. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I like my car the way it is. I drive with my friends that are in FD, and that's fun. I get to look at their cool cars, so I'll probably just do that and have my slow car. Nissan Pacific, would you ever make a video talking about your first few BMX sponsorships, and if that could be applied to motorsports in any way? I'm not really sure what that means, but I think he means, can any of my BMX sponsorships transition to motorsports? No, unfortunately not. None of my BMX sponsors really have an interest in drifting. The closest one I'd say would be OSS, but I don't think that they have any interest in cars. Yeah, I think if anything, like a company like Hoonigan has more interest in BMX, you know. So if you were sponsored by them to be a driver, and then they wanted to transition and sponsor you as a BMX rider or a skateboarder, that would make sense. What body kit? I run a 2F Performance Super Doof kit. How much money do you have into your car? I feel like most people don't really answer this shit because people are weird about money and don't really like talking about how much money they have or spend. I don't really give a shit. So I would say probably 25 grand-ish. 25,000.
Really?
Yeah. What?
I didn't even know that.
What? Don't you see me spend every paycheck on my car?
Well, yeah, but I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, maybe more. I don't know.
Wow.
I also kind of got it hooked up because I got the chassis with the cage and with the motor. But like if you did that separate, the cage was like 2 grand, the motor swap's like 7 grand, and I kind of got that as a lump sum for like, I can't even remember how much, but anyways, like 25 grand. Okay, Anthony underscore Nazar underscore asked who would win the fight, Brandon Began or Adam 22. Probably Adam 22. Hard to say though. Began's pretty strong. Probably one of the strongest little girls I know. Underscore dot shxrty dot underscore. What is clutch kicking? A clutch kick is a tool that you use when driving a car to break the rear wheels loose. So you have your right foot on the throttle and you kick the clutch. I would say if you're going to clutch kick, you want to be around 3,000 RPM. So you're on the throttle, you keep your foot on the throttle, you kick the clutch, And that brings the RPMs up because it thinks you're shifting. It's going to compensate. And so you kick the clutch real hard, and if you have a nice strong clutch and a little bit of power, it'll knock the wheels loose, and then you floor it and stay on it and keep the wheels spinning. If you have an underpowered car, it's a really useful tool to get the car sideways. Sheldon26 asked, what are your car goals? Car goals are to keep building this thing and keep driving it, making it as reliable as possible, and keep having fun. Really, that's why I built the cars, just to have fun and make cool videos with my friends. And so far, I think that we're doing a pretty good job of that. The car's definitely improved a lot, and with a platform like YouTube, I can share it with you guys, and you guys can watch it and enjoy it. Illinois _ asked, how did you get into drifting? I got into drifting when I got my first drift car when I was 18, and my friend Marcus and Emerson, I would always see them drive, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And then I got into one of their cars and did a ride along, and really realized that it was something I wanted to do. I was never really a car guy. I just really liked drifting and wanted to drive, which then turned into me being a car guy, and here we are now. David Taylor 87, he works at Tip Plus, shout out to David. He asked, out of all the cars you have had / built, which one was your favorite? Hands down, this one. I have a lot more knowledge now about cars and how to build a car to, work best for drifting now than I did, before. I've learned a lot, and so all of that knowledge has gone into this car, and it definitely is the best the best car I built, and the most functional. So yeah, this car, hands down. Fuck it _ people asking dumbass questions. I just want to know who influenced you to start sliding. That would be Marcus Lyons at iDriftPDX. He's one of my friends. He's been one of my friends forever, and he was the first person I ever saw drift a car in real life, and that did it for me. So shout out to him. Follow him on Instagram. Tyler Myers, how much money do you have tied up in your car, and can you relate your first car to your first BMX bike? I've already answered that question, but yeah, you can actually, because the first drift car that I ever had, or 240, I wouldn't even call it a drift car, the first car I ever had that I did drift was just as shitty as the first BMX bike I ever had. It's how it goes. You start off with no knowledge whatsoever about what you're doing, and you learn from your mistakes, and you learn from the purchases that you've made. You buy something shitty for your bike, and you're like, oh, well, now I know I should have bought this instead. It's the same thing for cars. Devin X Edge, why did you choose 240 coupe over a hatch? The coupe, I've always wanted a coupe, but I've always had hatches, so I think this was kind of my opportunity to switch over and get a coupe when my friend had this car with the 1J sitting in it already. Run Your Own asked, have you ever gotten your fart box tongue punched? Changes your life, bro. Yeah, I have. It's great. I agree 100%. It will change your life. Wake _ shake. Why are you so moist? Probably because it's fucking hot outside. It's like 100 degrees still. It's like 6 o'clock. It's _ Brandon _ G. I want to know why you went from 1JZ hatch to the 1JZ coupe, and do you feel that the coupe is better than the hatch? The chassis don't matter. They're the same. They feel the same to drive, honestly. I like the way the coupe looks more, but the hatch is the same thing. My hatch had a non-VVTi 1J in it. This one has a VVTi 1J. I prefer the VVTi over the non-VVTi for multiple reasons. And yeah, so that kind of answers that. Xander.K asked, how do you know people from Hoonigan? I was actually riding in front of Hoonigan one day, didn't even know it was Hoonigan. Brian Scotto, one of the owners, I think the operations manager, I don't know really what he does, but he came outside, we started talking, he opened up one of the doors, and it was Hoonigan. And then we started talking. Pretty much everybody there used to ride BMX, so we kind of got along real easy. And I was into drifting, so we just kind of clicked, you know. It was easy. But now we're all friends. Nathan underscore Vlovin, what do you think about scooters? I fuck with scooters heavy. I know a lot of people don't like scooters. I watch fucking every Tanner Fox video. I think he's hilarious. I watch, actually that's probably the only scooter videos I watch. But, I mean, there's a bunch of scooter kids out there with Quan grips on. How could I hate on it, you know? Shout out to all the scooter kids out there that have Quan grips. I fuck with all of you. Car underscore Ramrod, did you choose the thug life or did the thug life choose you? Yeah, it definitely chose me, without a doubt. Joseph 100 underscore, why not 3-piece wheels? Can't say too expensive because I've got a set from Japan for the low, just relit. I can say expensive because the wheels that are on my car that I run are free. So free compared to anything is better. So yeah, shout out to Inky once again. And yeah, I would like some 3-piece wheels, but I've got other shit I'd rather spend my money on. Nick underscore Collier says, when are you getting your license? That's a good question. I owe Oregon a little bit of money for driving like an idiot when I was younger, so I'm gonna get that taken care of and get a license very soon. The David Perez one, what turbo and how much boost is it pushing and how much power? I have a stock turbo just rebuilt with the billet internals from Drift Motion. It's not tuned, so I mean it's on like 14 pounds of boost. I think it makes like 310, 315 horsepower. Nismo underscore Dublin, what was your first car? It was a Honda CRV. Marcus.Lopez99, favorite trick? Probably tabletops. I like tabletops. Hippo, I don't even know how to say this kid's name. Hippo Simios, why don't you have your license? Because I drove like an idiot when I was younger. Alfredo Mancuso, Caleb, I think myself and the rest of YouTube community would really appreciate it if you could go into full detail and leave out no information about just exactly what a Quanbeck is. A Quanbeck is a badass, pretty much. I mean, let's be real. I'm the only one out there. Oh, my uncle, he's badass. Quanbecks are just badasses. That's pretty much it. I'd like you to leave a comment on this video and tell us what a Mancuso is, please. Thanks. Big Brown, who would win in a fight, Brandon Began or Adam LZ? Probably Nicole. Nicole probably whipped both their asses. What got you into the car scene? How did you get the 240 ALR XP? I just like drifting, that's it. I've answered this question, so if you're watching this video, you know. AJ BISCHLER, does Hoonigan sponsor you? I wouldn't say they sponsor me as much as they just fuck with me. We do shit together. Maybe one day though. Maybe. Tell them you want to see us do shit together so they'll come back up here and we can film more drifting stuff and maybe include some BMX. Give me some more swag. Young.Caden, is it just the 1JZ or did you build it like a 1.5JZX with the 1J top end, 2J bottom end? No, it's just a 1J. That's it. 1J Vvt-I. Underscore, not your average Joe. Underscore, any power upgrades coming for the JZ in the future? Yes, 100% there is. I'm going to do a bigger turbo, probably a GTX, a Garrett turbo, probably a, no, I actually don't even know what size yet, but in the 30s. We'll probably do something similar to like a dock manifold, some ejectors, and there's a new tuning software that my friend Scott uses on his RX-7 called Link, and I might use that. Shoot for like 450, 500 horsepower. That'll be done by next summer. God, this guy playing Pat 27 is really annoying in these comments. Ugh. Jason.Further, when are you coming? Watch out! Quit fucking with my car.
I didn't mean to. I ran into it.
Jason.Further, when are you coming back to California? I have no idea. It's really expensive there. I don't make a lot of money. So it's cheaper here. That's the way it is. Dominicans __ only. Will this be your only drift car, or are you planning to switch it up down the road? I wouldn't mind building a different chassis later on. It's just really expensive. These chassis are really easy to build, and I know them very well, and I like driving these. So I'll probably stick with this for a while. If somehow I come up on some money, I'll switch it up. If you, okay, drift _ Mike, if you had the money to go LS, would you, or would you stick with the JZ? Well, when it comes to money and motor swaps, stop fucking texting me. When it comes to money and motor swaps, LSs are way cheaper. It is extremely cheap to do an LS swap in a 240. You could probably put an LS, a V8, like a 5.3, maybe a 6.0 and a 240 for roughly 3 grand. I bet you could do the whole swap for 3 grand. A JZ, no way in hell you're doing it for less than 6 grand. So that kind of doesn't work. But I would never put a V8 in my car anyways. JZ forever. It's _ me _ Draven. What's the most important thing for a new and beginning drifter as far as car setup? I know seat time is vital, but first mods being power versus suspension and such. Well, it seems like you kind of already know. Seat time is seriously the most important thing. That being said, though, with a lot of seat time comes a lot of mechanical failures with your car. I would say most important thing: get a straight chassis. Doesn't matter what motor. Weld the diff. Get coilovers. A good set of coilovers. Don't go cheap on coilovers. Always get something. Get BCs, powered by Max, Feel. I don't know. Just don't get something shitty off eBay. Don't get Megan's. Don't get Godspeed. That shit is garbage. Get something that's gonna hold up and gonna work how it's supposed to work. So coilovers, a bucket seat, a harness, and a steering wheel. All of those things will make you drift. Now, if you have a really low-powered car like a KA or something, pump the tires up to like 80 psi. That way you can spin them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's relatively cheap. Minimal upkeep. When you have a car like that, you might, break a couple little things. Suspension arms wouldn't be a bad idea to invest in. The way you can really dial in your alignment. You can search around online for proper alignments on an underpowered car or a beginner style car. Mo _ Jorsey, why didn't you go for a hydro handbrake, and what are your future plans? I am going for a hydro e-brake. I just don't have any money. So once I have money, I'll have a hydro, which is coming very soon because this stock e-brake is about done. Alright, last one. Loser Machine _ Machine 97. What do you think about Supras? I think they're ugly as hell. All of them. Every single one of them. From the Mark 1 to the Mark 4, they're all ugly. The only thing a Supra had going for it was a 2JZ. That's it. But, anyways, thanks for watching the car check. Thanks for everybody that got us to 5,000 subscribers. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. That way we can hopefully get a better camera in the near future. So thanks a lot. See you guys later.